Good afternoon, everybody. This is English Lying Down. It's Sunday, July 19th, 2020. Make sure that you review 6 previous days' material. It's very, very important and crucial towards your memorization. So it's day 33. It's not very complicated, but try to use the logic. So they were going to discuss the difference between to prison and to the prison. It's very similar to the other ones, to school to the school, to university to the university, but slightly different. All right. So the phrase "they have to go to prison" means that they have been sentenced to go to prison for committing a crime. This phrase indicates that they will have the status of prisoners. If you need to stop and analyze, please do. Examples: he would have to go to prison for 2 years. Mike pled guilty and had to go off to prison. The phrase "they have to go to the prison" refers to their physical movement to a specific prison complex. The speaker may mean that they go to visit somebody in the prison or possibly go there on business. Examples: so she went to the prison, she visited with him. And so we are going to the prison, and we're gonna visit them. Let's go to the previous days, 6 previous days. Day 32, in prison, in the prison. The phrase "he is in prison" means that he is confined in a prison somewhere. His actual physical location is not important. This phrase indicates his status as a prisoner. Examples: he spent 2 years in prison. He was in prison for selling drugs. He was sentenced to life in prison. The phrase "he is in the prison" refers to his physical presence in a specific prison complex. The speaker may be standing inside or in front of the prison. He means that someone is inside the prison right now, possibly on business or a visitor. Examples: they play different roles in the prison system. I met her in the prison with her 2-year-old daughter. Moving upwards towards day 31. Question: to hospital or to the hospital? Answer: whether to use "that" before hospital is a well-established but mysterious difference between British and American English. People in the UK say they go to hospital, and people in the US say they go to the hospital. There doesn't seem to be any logical reason of why we use the word "the" here. It's rarely added for similar terms. We also use "to hospital" when we need to go to a hospital with a health problem. We also use "to the hospital" when we visit a hospitalized person. Examples: he died after being taken to hospital in critical condition. I have to be sober when I go to hospital tomorrow. The man had gone into a coma after drinking a bottle of vodka, and he had been taken to hospital in an ambulance. Certain products, for example, immunoglobulins, are delivered directly by the manufacturer to the hospital or other healthcare setting. Take him to the hospital. Or British: take him to hospital. He had a nervous breakdown, went to the hospital in Jackson, dove out of the 3rd floor, the 3rd or 4th day, and killed himself. Scrolling up to day 30. This is quite a long one. In fact, that's why I put it in 2 days. Day 29-30. Question: in hospital or in the hospital. So whether to use the before hospital or is a well-established but mysterious difference between British and American English. People in the UK say they are in hospital, and people in the US say are in the hospital. There doesn't seem to be any logical reason why we use the word "the" here. It's rarely added for similar terms. For example, if you were attending college, you would say you were in the college. And if you had ended on the wrong side of the law, you wouldn't say in the prison. In fact, there's a mistake here. Okay, anyways, you wouldn't say you were in the prison, you would say in prison. There are certain instances when you would use the word "the," though. When we leave off "the," we are indicating that we have a certain ongoing relationship with the institutions. We're a student at college, for example, or an inmate in prison. Since people in Britain and America have different healthcare systems, maybe the British feel that they have more of a relationship with their hospitals than we do in America. But that's just a wild guess. We do sometimes use the word "there" with similar words like college or prison, though. So one more time. We do sometimes use the word "there" with similar words like college or prison, though. And when we do, we're usually saying something different. We're specifying a place. For example, we could say that we're visiting the college your mom attended, or that the electricity was out in the prison nearby. To wrap up, in hospital versus in the hospital are original difference between UK and US. There is no established reason these differences developed, and at least none that we can pinpoint for sure. Examples: the spouse is in hospital after a suicide attempt. The person in question lost consciousness in the course of the police action and died 3 days later in hospital. There are various methods of tubal ligation, are all done in the hospital under local or general anesthetic. Over 100 magnetic door contacts operate in the hospital. Will I have to spend the night in the hospital to receive the treatment? And we're going to take date 28 as well. At hospital or at the hospital. At hospital is usually used with verbs that require the preposition at after them, such as arrive at and stay at. One can arrive, stay, be, etc. at hospital as a patient or worker of the hospital. Examples: John arrived at the hospital at 10 a.m. She works at the hospital. The patient stayed at the hospital overnight. At the hospital is very often used with the same meaning as at hospital. However, it is utilized when speaking about visitors or things that are at the hospital. He is at the hospital visiting his aunt. They have some great modern facilities at the hospital. We went to get care at the hospital. And when you arrived at the hospital, what was the prognosis that they gave you about your recovery? I know a good doctor at the hospital. So moving